How would you feel when you think and you feel in your heart that you're happily married to that one man, that special guy, for more than a decade, to then find yourself calling a mortgage broker through TikTok and deciding to refinance your property to buy his ass out? Now, I've been a mortgage broker for 15 years, and this would be one of those stories that I could say the top 5 sad horror stories of family breakups. Like always, let's go to my notebook. So we have a once happily married couple, a family of 5 with 3 kids. Youngest is 8 and the eldest is 15. And this is the client. Now, the simple premise is that she came to me, saw one of my TikTok videos early on when I had like maybe a few thousand followers, and she wants to buy out her ex, which is circle over here, this gentleman. So before the whole divorce thing, she and her partner owned an aircon business, and their turnover was pretty good. On a yearly turnover, they were doing $1.5 million. Net profit after expenses was $400,000 per year. She is a 100% director. She took over the business from her family, and it was a 50-50 shareholdership between her and her partner, which means she got 200 and he got 200K. As you can see, very good business they have, and from that, they have 1, 2, 3 properties. This is the PPOR, which is their prime place of residence. Then they have 2 investment properties collecting really good rental income. As you can see, great family. They run a small business, making great income, and have 3 beautiful kids. What could possibly go wrong? The husband, 3 years ago, started experimenting with ice. Now, a lot of you watching who have a family and kids and probably been married for, I would say, more than 3 years, you start to piece all the puzzles together and see how this train wreck is going to establish itself. Her partner, now her ex, started experimenting with this funny thing we call ice. And from 3 years ago to April 2022, they were involved in some heavy divorce separation process. Now, she came to me looking like this in April, emotionally and physically bruised. And her ex, old mate here, who still is chomping on those ice, have been issued with multiple AVOs, and he's multiply breached them. When she came to me, these were her goals. She wants to sell one of her properties, either this one or that one, because her main intention is to kick this guy out and get him out of her life. There's a lot of ongoing debt that the aircon business is incurring, and it needs to be paid. And due to COVID and the whole separation thing, business has taken a dip. And she's really struggling to make these repayments because this guy over here has stopped working. It's pretty shocking what this guy did to her. I mean, literally in the last 3 years, maybe after his ice binge, he would come home, just randomly slap her in the face. There's one time when the kids were watching TV, he would just randomly pick her up and throw her across the room in front of the kids. And this would go on for like on a monthly basis, but randomly. Sometimes he'll love you and sometimes he'll hate you. And she tolerated this for like 12 months, even before filing this AVO. And guys, this lady over here has been through hell. She has to make sure the aircon business is still, making money, paying staff, managing staff, while, making repayments for these properties, while this guy decided to, not work. And since last year, 2021, since she initiated this separation process, she's been paying through the roof for divorce lawyers. Now, I've been working on this case since April, and now is October. And the good news is I did get her the loan, but that is not the hard part. And this is the loan structure I did for her. Not a lot of banks took her income because in the last 2 years, it was pretty bad due to this life event, this single person that sabotaged the whole business. So I went to a non-bank which agreed on this structure. So she had 3 properties, 2 in South Bank. Those were the investment properties. Her PPOR is in Bonnerick. This is the total equity value. And I was able to cash out $364,000 for her to either buy out the ex, which at first he didn't want any money, to pay for some of the outstanding bills on this aircon business and wages owing to staff and contractors. Also money to renovate the PPR, her prime place of residence where the kids live, because this place is a war zone. It's been smashed by the ex. But to be honest, getting her the loan was pretty tough work. It was pretty freaking hard. A lot of notes, a lot of convincing, but I got her the loan. But what was the most hardest is getting the ex to sign the discharge form. Because this guy is in sabotage mode. He doesn't care about these 3 properties. He doesn't really care or give a crap, but he wants her to die. He won't sign anything. He won't make any repayments. He just wants the 3 of these properties to go into foreclosure so she could lose all her homes. And while she's fighting him with her divorce lawyer, which is charging her through the roof, he wants to bleed her out by dragging the whole process out so she could give up. And with her solicitor's help, not the family divorce lawyer, but her family solicitor's help, we got the family court to argue and agree that they will sign on his behalf to force him to discharge the properties. Now that went back and forth for like weeks. And when the family court came in to say, hey, we got to make you sign it. And I thought, all right, cool. The deal's nearly done. But Mr. Sabotage with Mr. Sabotage's divorce lawyer claims on unfair grounds that their client, the ex, shouldn't need to give up all these properties without any form of compensation. But mind you, about 2 or 3 months ago, he agreed to let go of all these properties on a handwritten document that he signed, that he didn't want any of those properties and he was to give it all to her because he loves her. Now his solicitor, the divorce lawyer, is claiming that, well, he was, in a bad mental state, maybe due to drugs, and they need to reassess this again. Now this again dragged out the case for another couple of weeks for the family court to review this, which is costing my client an extra $500, $800 per day in solicitor fees. Again, this lady, she's exhausted. She is a single mother with 3 kids, take them to school, all that stuff, and manage a air conditioning business to make sure the business still runs, so they can still make some form of profit, so she can make the mortgage repayments, which the ex is not paying. By the way, the mortgage is in bloody like crazy arrears at the moment. And literally just a month ago, she came to me and go, look, I give up. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to fight this guy anymore. Just let him win. Let them sell the freaking property and let's walk away. But I'm like, hey, don't give up. We've worked like months on this. We're nearly there. We just need to appeal, wait for the family court. But she's like, hey, I can't keep paying these divorce lawyers. I'm getting more in arrears. Like, just let it go. And then I found out later through these photos, which I have permission to share because, the case is over. This is what happened when they were going back and forth. The ex found out her new location where she was living in a unit. And this is what he did. He broke into her freaking unit while she was at work. Look how much power he has to crack that doorknob handle open. It's literally cut in half. And look at that. He was like scavenging through her crap, looking for money. I don't know, money for ice. But look what he did. She was like, what if I was home? Like, this guy's nuts. I don't want to fight him anymore. I was like, look, he's clearly trying to intimidate you. If you cancel a loan now, basically he wins. But long story short, there is good news. After he did that, he actually breached an AVO that was on him for the freaking 6th time. And you know what happened? The police found this mofo and sent him to civil water jail. And they apparently found out he was doing some illegal crap to pay his divorce lawyer to be fighting my client over here. The divorce lawyer immediately dropped him. The whole, notion of saying, hey, that was unfair grounds, I don't want to sign the discharge form, whoop whoop, that was gone. And the family court argued that due to the ex being in a bad mental state, they signed the discharge form for her, and with the loan being approved, all these properties are now in her name. And this loan settled last week. F me dead, we got her there. Don't give up. I got her the $364,000 cash out. She was able to pay out the debts in the business, pay the unpaid wages, renovate her current existing home. Her PPOR, she's renting that out, and she's got to live somewhere else because she wants to get away from this guy when this guy gets out of civil water jail. So guys, I know a long video for TikTok, but jump in the comments. What do you think? Here's the moral of the story. if your family and life is going good, don't freaking take drugs. What do you think?